What's up? Welcome to the LFC Transfer Room. I'm Jack here today with a match preview, opposition preview ahead of the opening of the Champions League group stage against AC Milan on Wednesday. Joining us today is Nima Roodsari, a great journalist who covers Italian football. We're going to have his insights on Milan ahead of this match on Wednesday, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Let's get into the video. So European nights are back at Anfield. It's going to be a very exciting atmosphere. Milan are also a very interesting team, one of the youngest in Europe to qualify for the Champions League last season in the top 5 leagues of Europe. So Nima breaks down what you can expect from Milan on a very general basis.
I think, Liverpool, we know exactly how Liverpool are going to play. So there's no surprises there. But what will be interesting is to see how Milan handle this. It's, Milan are, of all the top 4 leagues in Europe, they have the youngest team in all the top of all the top 4 leagues, of the teams that finished in the top 4, and they are a year wiser, a year older, and they've continued. They look better than they did a year ago and matured a lot. But it's a very young team. They're going to be probably most likely be led by ZLATAN Ibrahimovic, who looked very good when he came on against Lazio yesterday. We're recording this on a Monday. He looked really, really good. Looked hungry. He looked completely up for it. Mentally, there's nothing wrong. Mentally he's still 18, but it's his physique that's 40, and then that's the only thing that probably that's kind of holding him back, because he looked sharper. He looked more up for it than I've seen him in a very long time. So Liverpool need to beware of him. But it's going to be, I think I'm expecting to see a Liverpool that press Milan high up the pitch and try to dominate them deep in their own half.
As Milan have gotten a bit older as a squad, they've also been able to start their season a bit stronger than they have previously. 3 wins in 3 is a very strong start. Nima breaks it down.
Milan have won their first 3 opening games in the Serie A, I think, for the first time ever, 2 years in a row. And they look very good. Stefano, they look better than they did last season, and when they started the season this season really well. It's a very young team, as I mentioned, but that dominates the midfield. And this season, Sandro Tonali, so far, I know it's a small sample size, 3 games in, but he's been the best midfielder in the Serie A by a mile these first 3 games. He is. I've always believed he's a generational talent, and he's starting to come good on that. Last season, it was more for him to learn and to grow, and the experience of moving from a small provincial side like Brescia to go to Milan, to train at that level, that hard at that high level, and to with everything that comes with moving to a big club, mentally as well as on the pitch. This was the season when he was supposed to show how good he is, and he's so far delivered. He's been absolutely outstanding. Together with Frank Kessié, they've dominated the midfield in every single game they've played. I mean, against Lazio, who have one of the best midfields in the Serie A and also in Europe, with Milinkovic-Savic, Luis Alberto, Lucas Leiva, they didn't have a prayer. They didn't have anything to set up against them. Tonali is extremely good at winning the ball high up the pitch. Milan are a very good team that can withstand pressure and also press high up the pitch. And when they win the ball high up the pitch, they also are always in a good position to hurt their opponents because they're so well positioned on the pitch and in terms of the formation, and everyone knows what they're supposed to do. Rafael Leao is an unpolished diamond that looks to be more polished than he was a year ago. And of course, Theo Hernandez marauding down the left flank, Davide Calabria. Defensively, Milan are solid. I expect them to play with Simon Kjær and Tomori, who's very quick and has been outstanding. And to be honest, I think Milan, as a back 4, in a back 4, they're one of the few teams that play a back 4 in the Serie A. They probably have the best defensive line of those teams that play with a back 4 in the Serie A. As I mentioned, Calabria is probably the best defensive right back in the Serie A. He's also improved in attack. Theo Hernandez is one of the best, if not the best left back in the world. Simon Kjær, outstanding, and Tomori's been outstanding. And you got Ibrahimovic up there, Leao, Rebic, who got 2 assists against Lazio, outstanding. performance by him. Milan are going to be I think they're going to surprise a lot of people against Liverpool.
When explaining how Liverpool can try and beat Milan, it's going to come with pressure high up the field. So what's going to be the key for Liverpool if they want to come away with an opening 3 points at Anfield?
To exploit his pressure, really pressure Milan high up the pitch. And it's important for Milan to not lose their heads and also remain cool and balanced and find that perfect balance between not lying too deep and not going too far, to have a defensive lineup that's too far up the pitch, so that Salah and Sadio Mane, etc., don't dominate them and hurt them, because they're that's what Liverpool do, and we've seen it. I think this weekend as well, we saw how Liverpool are really in form again.
And on the flip side, it's going to be a tight match. What can Milan do to try and pull off a good result away from home?
Milan are very good at withstanding pressure, and they're very good at winning the ball high up the pitch, especially their midfield, with Kessie and Tonali, who I expect to start. Franck Kessié is a tank, an absolute tank in the middle. He never stops running. He's very physical. He's very strong. He's actually, and also very intelligent. And even though he missed a penalty this weekend, he's also very, you can almost bet your mortgage that he always scores his penalties. So, and as for Sandro Tonali, he's a bit of a complete midfielder. He's fast. He's very dynamic. He's got great vision, fantastic in terms of creativity. A good shot on him. Scored his first Serie A goal on a free kick not so long in the beginning of this season. So I think that's where they're going to try to hurt Liverpool, is to win the ball high up the pitch and to after the first press, that they withstand Liverpool's high press, and then try to hurt Liverpool in down their end by winning by if not winning the ball, then playing between, playing past Liverpool's first two lines of press, which is very difficult, because Liverpool, that's where Liverpool destroy teams. So it's going to be, I still hold Liverpool as the favourites, but I do think that Milan will surprise people. It wouldn't surprise me if this game ended in a 1-1 draw.
We'll do some tactics now. Starting off with AC Milan, they're going to play likely a 4-2-3-1 shape. Their back four, as Nima mentioned, is quite strong, with Calabria and Theo Hernandez, who offer really great width, really great attacking presence from deep, much like Liverpool do. The midfield duo of Kessie and Tonali is going to be very strong as well. Again, numbers not exactly correct, but they're meant to be general positions upon the pitch. Brahim Diaz in the middle has players supporting him, and up top you have both Ibrahimovic and Chedu. So it's a young team, but you have some really experienced forward options that could try and pose interesting tests for what I think should be Matip and Van Dijk. With the really terrible injury that occurred with Harvey Elliott, it means that we're probably going to have to see Jordan Henderson, maybe Naby Keita. He's a really good Champions League performer. So that's an interesting toss up in that right central midfield spot. But the left center mid spot, in my opinion at least, is pretty good for Thiago. Looking at how Liverpool are trying to probably attack them, it is going to come with high pressure up the field. You're going to have to see Salah, Mane, Jota really working in cohesion with some of the fullbacks to try and work high up the field to try and win the ball back in dangerous spots. But, they're not going to be an easy test. Liverpool had a lot of space against Leeds on the weekend, so it's going to be a bit more restricted. It's going to be a bit more effective, because they are a Champions League side. They're young, but they are very good. They have a lot of talent in some pretty interesting spots. So that's kind of how generally we're going to see the teams line up in terms of their shape. The 4-2-3-1 of Milan against the 4-3-3 of Liverpool. No Firmino means that Jota will play, so it could be a very interesting matchup. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below on what you expect from the match. And make sure to subscribe to the channel for all your match day, preview, and review content ahead of the Champions League season that starts in just a few days. Thanks to Nima for coming onto the channel and giving us his great insight. Thanks to Chris, who was the one who actually interviewed him. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Take care.